we can go right into Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role. So here the nominations we have are Monica Barbaro from A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande from Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. Now, first, I heard from a couple of different movie critics that are very upset that Zoe Saldana got nominated for Emilia Perez because they believe that she was actually the lead actress in Emilia Perez. And again, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. But apparently, she took up most of the screen time because the story was told through her perspective as the lawyer. And again,
Mhm.
I didn't see the movie, so I can't really speak on that for sure. But he feels
Mhm.
like he even called it, what did he say? He's like nomination fraud because they just didn't want Carla Sofia Garcon to go against Zoe Saldana, so they pretended like she was the supporting actress, which I thought was
Okay.
interesting because it's kind of like me and Ty's conversation about Wicked, Cynthia Erivo versus Ariana Grande. Are they both lead actresses or is one a supporting? And I'm like, in my
Right.
heart, I do agree that Ariana Grande supported Cynthia Erivo, based upon even just in the way that they arranged the tracks, and I think it's also the way the story was written. Like it's written for Glinda to be a support to Elphaba in that storyline. But I do feel like if I was having to choose, I would say Ariana Grande is supporting Cynthia Erivo in that role, and I think Ariana Grande does a phenomenal job. And I think she was like her performance was one of the reasons why I enjoyed myself so much watching Wicked in the theater with my little brother. So she is definitely my dub for performance by an actress in a supporting role. It's like
Mhm.
Ariana Grande was like my that was my favorite performance by an actress this entire year, and so I definitely believe she deserves an Oscar. I think based upon the competition, again, I think it's a very good chance that she will end up winning based upon how big Wicked was and how small these other movies are. But I did want to mention also, I think Zendaya should have, she would be my snub. I still think Ariana
Mhm.
Grande could win this category, even if Zendaya was nominated for Dune Part 2. And I do feel like Zendaya's performance in Dune Part 2 was a supporting role because she was supporting the storyline as well as Timothy Chalamet's character. I don't think I think Dune Part Two, it wasn't like it was so big, it was almost too big to have like two lead roles. So I would say that Zendaya was a supporting role in Dune Part Two, and I do think she deserved to at least be nominated over some of these that were listed because what she did with Shawnee's character, who in the original Dune books was a very small, I'm not going to say insignificant, but a very small character. So she didn't have a whole lot of substance to her. Obviously, Denis Villeneuve and the writers decided to give her more, and then Zendaya took that and ran with it. And I've even seen like some people critiquing her character because they were like, Shawnee's character wants to change all these things about the Fremen and their religion, and why would she even be rejecting it? Because that's all she's known growing up. She should be completely in line with it. And I'm like, but that's what young generations do every single time. Whenever there's a system or a way that's been established, you could call a religion, an organization, whatever it is, the next generation, some of them fall in line, but they're also the same ones that shake it up. And they're the same ones that want change because they are new and they're younger. And so the whole belief that she has that the Fremen should be saving themselves, that the Fremen should be the ones to be the saviors and not some outside Lisan Al Gaib figure, to me was hugely impactful. And I think she did it in a way that only her as an actress really could. And so I've almost talked myself into making Zendaya be the dub for Best Supporting Actress, but I think I still got to go with with Ariana Grande for my choice for Best Supporting Actress. But like I said, to kind of do that segue, I do think Zendaya should have at least been considered for this one.
Yeah, I think similarly, Zendaya had a great year. She had a lot of great roles that she poured her heart into. Doesn't change the fact that Margaret Qualley was in probably my second favorite movie of the year in The Substance. And I think for a movie whose scope is a little smaller and tighter, and it is mostly just about these two women performing the two halves of the same coin, for her to carry so much of it through just at times facial expressions is stunning to me. Like she absolutely carried the other half of the movie. Whenever Demi was not on screen, Margaret Qualley was right there to pick and hold, kind of like Atlas holding the world on his shoulders. That's what the two of them were doing, it passing it back and forth and holding up the entire movie in a way that I don't think any other performance for me demonstrated. Like as great as, like, to me, the a lot of the magic of something like Dune doesn't necessarily come down to an individual. It comes down to the ensemble. It is the fact that it kind of like a watch, all of these very delicate, intricate, unique pieces are working together. They're each performing exactly what they need to do for this, this watch to function. I That's how I envision Dune. It's all of these amazing roles working together to create something so much bigger than the sum of its parts. But for me, with The Substance, that was a movie that was just these two. Like without the two of them, there was no movie. And for them to make it something that was just as like exponentially like larger than the sum of its parts just magnified how strong the performances were, because they weren't necessarily in as much of a competition, and yet they still, for me, were hitting that same level of like amazement. And so that's why I have to give it to her. Oh,
All
and I
right.
guess of the choices here, sorry, I forgot that there were actual Oscar nominations and not just what I
I
wanted.
was like, so you chose Margaret Qualley and Zendaya, and but who's on the list that you might be would.
I'm I guess just from my own lack of seeing movies here, I guess by default I'm gonna go with Ariana Grande, just because a lot of the other nominations here I have not seen. But she was good, but to me it feels more like a decision just from a lack of other choice.
Makes sense. Yeah. So you've got two snubs, Margaret Qualley and Zendaya, who you both would put over Ariana Grande, but that would still be your dub if if that came to it.
Yeah, from here. Mhm.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people's opinions about Margaret Qualley being snubbed for this category. Okay, I just have a couple opinions about Isabella Rossellini. I know how she got nominated for this. It's just like no hate to her. I just think that her role was so minuscule in Conclave, and that like I don't think that she took anything and spun it in her own way to make that character shine. It just seemed like sort of a bland character in general, and like the writing
Okay.
wasn't necessarily like anything to take with your own personality. It just was kind of there. And she barely speaks. I mean, not that speaking is for actors, but there's
Mhm.
more to that than speaking. But like, it just felt like such a small role that I don't understand why. Like her compared to Ariana Grande, like, and you're talking about the screen time. Like, if she's basically on screen as much as Cynthia, like, how can that even compare? I don't know, to Isabella Rossellini's character. And then I was surprised that Lily Rose Depp did not get nominated
Yeah.
because I thought like with all the hype going into that movie about her, it was like going to be no questions. I don't know if I would agree with a nomination for her.
And if he
Just
wants to.
watching a certain character do certain female things on the screen warrants an award. And that's kind of what I expected. So I guess I'm surprised that she's not nominated. If I had to go with somebody on this list, I would probably choose Ariana Grande as well.
Makes sense. She's cleaning up. She's cleaning up.
I'm just gonna jump on the bandwagon. And I have yet to see Wicked, but if you guys give me a quick 2 hours and 40 minutes, I'll be right back and I can tell you my thoughts on it. Just from the small snippets I've seen, both Cynthia and Ariana should both be nominated, I feel like. So I'm glad they both got now. I was right in the age range where I was watching, Zoe 101 and Victorious and all of those shows. And so seeing Ariana Grande going from that to
Right.
this is just great. And that just I haven't really kept up with a lot of her current music or anything like that, but just having this like experience like of knowing her when I was younger, and then now she's an Oscar nominated actress. That's so incredible for her. And like I said, from the snippets I've seen of her acting and obviously from her vocal performance, um I'm just gonna go with her also.
Well, if you guys haven't seen her SNL host this past year. That's what I'm going to nominate her for. Oh my God, it's so funny.
The sketch
That was my
Celine Dion.
favorite.
Oh my God.
Yes, it was
And
so. Oh my God.
Yes.
there's another sport, eh?
It's
In the ring, boxing match. Oh my God. It was so funny.
I'm gonna watch that as soon as we're done. I'm gonna watch
Please
that
do.
like right
Please
now.
do.
Uh,
If I send me that link if you remember, because I'll try to find it.
It's on Peacock if you have
yeah.
that.
And I think Wicked is
Oh, I
going
was
to
just thinking of it.
soon. So if you get them
Mm.
both, like watch that and then watch Wicked, and then you'll see what we're all talking about. Because yeah, I mean that was
Well,
the
Emily and I have been wanting to watch Wicked, so we just have to. Maybe, I mean, we don't have many plans today. Maybe that's what we'll do today. I don't know.
Yeah. Good
yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
I had I grew up in that exact same timeline, like Zoe 101,
Yeah.
Glorious, Drake and Josh, all of
Yes.
that was
Mhm.
my childhood. And so to see, kind of these actors that, I grew up watching transform into these roles like Austin Butler for Dune Part 2 and then
Yes.
Grande. I mean, like her performance in Wicked isn't that different from Kat, like being honest, like put the two
But
side
that's
by side,
okay.
it's
That's
not like
okay.
it's not the same range, right? But she's still, but again, the point is people that went to go see Wicked were expecting to come out with an enjoyable experience. And that's what she brought to the movie to me. That's
Mhm.
exactly what her character was for. And again, I don't think anyone else could have done it the way Ariana Grande did it. So to me, that's why she ends up getting the win.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Also about Austin Butler though, just again, just his sheer transformation is just incredible. I remember when first of all, the casting for the Dune movies so far, I think is absolutely perfect. I think every actor does so well in terms of like just acting, but also like book counterpart. Like I read the book right before, like when part one was going to come out, like sometime in 2021, and obviously I was biased because I had seen the trailer and I knew the actors, but just like the way I pictured every character in that book is just so perfectly cast in those films. And particularly with Austin Butler, because I also really want to see Elvis just because his performance in that looks really great. But I remember when he was cast, there was some thought that like, oh, they're casting him as a Harkonnen. Is he gonna be, like super muscled up and bald and crazy like Dave Bautista and Stellan Skarsgård? And of course he was. And some had thought like man, like he's not gonna be as pretty as he was in Elvis and as he's been in other movies. And it's like, yes, but also just sheer transformation into Fade Ralpha is just so great. I'm gonna retroactively also add him for a snub for best supporting actor because he's so great in that movie because even though he's this ruthless character, he still has like just his emotions just still come through in his performance. And obviously in the final scene with him and Timmy is just so like it's perfect. It's the greatest scene of the year, I will say, even though I haven't seen anything else that's nominated. So there's that. Um, but just I just think of like those 20 seconds when they're both saying, may that knife chip and shatter, and Timmy does that, and he also does Duncan's salute while saying Jonas's quote, and that perfectly sums up his arc. And then when Fade hears it, I'm stealing from some TikTok or something I saw, but somebody said this like Fade's reaction, just like that's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm gonna say that too. And then they have a couple moments between the two of them, of almost like this mutual like respect for each other, and I just think that's so compelling for especially for Austin's character as Fade. I think that's just so like interesting because most of the movie we see him as this like unemotive, ruthless killer.
Right. And I don't think anybody should ever forget. Like if you've watched Dune Part 2, it should be a requirement that you go back and watch the last season of Zoe 101 so you really appreciate what just happened here because you won't
The the
see it.
the season where they got him because Chase wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz he left so he had to become a new love interest and then Zoe wasn't sure if she wanted to end up with Chase, so like maybe she was going to go with
Yeah.
Austin Butler's character, that whole thing.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, way back. Yeah.
Exactly.
I would just like to add that I think Austin Butler is very attractive and handsome in this movie. Just like a hairless cat is also very cute. He's just handsome in a creepy bald way.
All the way. Wow. Okay.